wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't even...
Hey y'all, how we doing? Welcome to episode 52 of the Fourth Down Forum podcast. I am your host, Dereck Fuster, and we are going to be recapping Wildcard Weekend, what picks I got right, what picks I got wrong, what my reasoning for picking said teams were, and then we will be advancing into some divisional round drama. So, without further ado, the games out of the AFC that I got right. Steelers-Ravens. What better way for Wildcard Weekend, right, than two division foes going at it? My hot take, the best, I'll say it 3 times for those who didn't hear in the back, rivalry in the NFL. So why did I have the Ravens beating the Steelers? It's quite simple. And this isn't taking anything away from the Steelers. You know, I think Ben Roethlisberger and Ray Lewis said it best on that little CBS interview that they had. It's a respectful hatred. It's like Batman and the Joker, if I had to compare it to anything. But I compared it a lot to our first meeting, or our second meeting, I should say, that we had in the regular season. The Ravens just ran the ball, controlled the clock. The Steelers' offense was one-dimensional. Very much in this game, the Steelers' offensive game plan was throw to 14. You factor out 14, you take away their offensive identity. They were conservative on 4th and short, 4th and 3rd, things of that nature. They could have ran the ball. They should have tried to run the ball on those situations. They didn't. So, another thing too, Patrick Queen, buddy, what were we doing when trying to tackle Derrick Henry? You didn't even go for the legs. You didn't even attempt to make a tackle, my man. That's the king coming at you. So I guess it's true what they say. The queen is dead. Long live the king. Anyways, I digress. The Bills and the Broncos. Now, this is not to take anything away from Denver. Denver is a very good up-and-coming football team. They got an absolute stud in Bo Nix. They got that thing going with Troy Franklin being his college receiver, hooking them up. That was a smart call. This was the Von Miller Bowl, as I like to put it. And with that said, the Bills just overall were a better team to me. That's not to take anything away from Denver. I think they got a bright future. I think they are going to be competitive in that division for many years to come. Now, on the NFC side of things, I got one lone game correct, and that was the Packers-Eagles game. And those of you who know and who have been following the channel for years know my second team is the Green Bay Packers. But that said, it will always be Baltimore over everybody. The only, and excuse me for a second, but the only scenario in which I ever go for Green Bay over Baltimore is if the Ravens have already been eliminated from playoff contention and Green Bay is still in it. But that's not the case this year. So, games I got wrong. Let's talk about them. On the AFC front, the Texans-Chargers game. I for sure was under the impression that Jim Harbaugh, in his first year back in the NFL, was going to take the Chargers and get his first playoff win. But I forgot he has I don't even know the words I'm looking for right now, so I'll just say buffoon, in Greg Roman as an offensive coordinator. And yes, the beef with me and Greg Roman is still there. That man's secret vault is just a menu to Denny's. I said it when he was our offensive coordinator. I got another friend who's a Niners fan who would tell you he did the same thing when he was their coordinator, and he's doing the same thing to the Chargers right now. Now, I can't completely fault it on just Greg Roman. Their quarterback did throw 4 interceptions. So, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. Looking like I'm part of the Fantastic Four out here. I digress. I don't think it's Herbert. I think Roman is holding him back. Justin Herbert's career mirrors Joe Flacco's in a lot of ways. I'm not saying they're the same quarterback. What I'm saying is Herbert has had multiple offensive coordinators since coming into the league. The same way that when Flacco was our quarterback, he had multiple OCs and had to learn a new offensive scheme year in and year out. And that does take a toll. But that said, I was wrong about that game. On the NFC side, Commanders and Bucks. JD5, Jaden Daniels, my guy. I was foolish, and I should be ashamed that I, in this wild card weekend, went against my Heisman-winning college quarterback. I know what you're capable of. I know what you can do. But the powers that be me, thought the Buccaneers having the better team overall, and I still do think that, thought they were going to go in and win this game. They didn't. You proved them wrong. So we got a very exciting divisional game coming up for the fans. And we'll get into that in a little bit. Now, the one I had for sure on lock that I was like, I would be willing to put money on, and I'm glad I didn't, was the Vikings-Rams game. The Vikings, Jettas, Addison have been doing their thing. Darnold had a career resurgence with Minnesota, and it wasn't even supposed to be Sam Darnold starting for them. It was supposed to be rookie J.J. McCarthy, if I'm not mistaken, but, he went down with an injury. So, that said, to recap, Steelers lost to the Ravens, Broncos lost to the Bills, Eagles beat the Packers, Texans beat the Chargers, Commanders beat the Bucks, the Rams beat the Vikings. So, with that said, the Ravens, the Bills, the Eagles, the Texans, the Commanders, and the Rams are all moving on to the divisional round. The other thing I have to make note of before we get into said divisional round drama is the AFC representative, the Kansas City Chiefs, were on a bye week. They haven't played nobody yet. The NFC representative, the Detroit Lions, also on a bye week, have not played anybody yet. So that said, let's get into the bread and the butter of this whole thing. Divisional round drama, right? So, what did the Ravens and the Bills win for advancing to the divisional round? A matchup with one another. These two teams met in the regular season. And the Ravens put belt to ass on the Bills. I believe the final score was like 35 to 10. I do not think it's going to be like that this go around. I will be that Ravens fan. I understand this is not the same Buffalo Bills team that we're seeing from week 4. I understand that Josh Allen is considered to be an MVP favorite, as he should be. He has been having a hell of a season. I will not take that away. But guess what? So has Lamar Jackson. We'll table that for another episode, though. This is no longer the 32nd ranked defense. We are number 1 in every major category. Michael Pierce did not play in that first game. Rosengarten, that was his first true raw game at right tackle. So the O-line has gelled. Things have come together. But that said, who do I have winning this matchup? Now, it all comes down to who can get off on a hot start, right? And if Lamar is playing Lamar's game, how he played against the Steelers, he's letting things come to him. He's not taking things. He's not forcing mistakes. He doesn't jump ahead to Kansas City, which is what I know. Everybody and their mama knows that's where either he or Josh Allen want to get back to. But what is my heart telling me right now? It's telling me to take the Ravens in a close competitive game. So that is what we are going to do. Am I going to feel good about this pick? I'm hoping I come back to it and I can feel good about this pick. That's also why you see me rocking the 81 jersey. It's the Anquan Bolden jersey for those of you who weren't too sure. But he did at the tail end of his career play for the Buffalo Bills. So, more you know. I believe that was like the 2015 season. Texans Chiefs. Now, I didn't even think the Texans were going to make it this far, so that is nothing short of amazing in itself. But you're going up against this generation's Tom Brady. And I'll be the one to say it. He is this generation's Tom Brady. He has the rings. He has the accolade. People want to see him beat that are not a fan of the Chiefs or Mahomes because he's that damn good. That said, this game is in Arrowhead. That is arguably one of the toughest stadiums to play in. And as much as I would like it to be the Ravens win in advance and the Texans win in advance, so we get a conference championship game in Baltimore again, I don't foresee it playing out that way. I foresee it being a rematch of last year's AFC conference championship game. So, based off my AFC picks, you would see Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens going up against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, let me go into a little bit more detail about why I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win. They have arguably the best head coach in the NFL right now in Andy Reid. I believe Travis Kelce, similar to his brother Jason, is on the cusp of retiring, so they have something to play for. And there's just something about the Chiefs, man, where they always, be that if you want to argue it's the refs, you want to argue that it's just luck on their side, they always have something go their way. Now, on the NFC side of things, we got, arguably, you could argue either the Bills-Ravens or this game is probably going to be game of the week with the Commanders and the Lions. Now, Jaden Daniels, my Heisman-winning LSU quarterback. I'm sorry that I have to do this, but the Lions are hungry. I know that loss from last year's conference game has left a sour taste in their mouth, even if they don't go around being vocal about it. I have the Detroit Lions advancing to the conference championship game. They're getting Knuckles back, so they're going to have that 1-2 punch again. Laporta. There's other guys, Amon-Ra St. Brown, the sun god. Tim Patrick, former Ravens legend, Tim Patrick. And you got another argument you could make for the best head coach and Dan Campbell coaching his guys. Eagles, Rams. Now, I am all for a story about overcoming adversity and things of that nature, right? And I believe that's what helped the Rams get their win against the Vikings. Due to the fires that, have been happening in LA, which is very sad to see. I have your NFC Championship game being the Detroit Lions against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, regardless of what the outcome is for my predictions, I have a job to you as a podcast host, as a journalist, things of that nature, to still, even if my team loses, still come before y'all and give you my conference final predictions. So that will be one of the next episodes. Y'all are gonna get a national championship episode as well, because I haven't been able to do college the way I wanted to do college football this year. And I'm hoping that can change going into next season. I'm probably gonna have it, if I can, to where I do NFL pick'ems for one episode and then college pick'ems for another episode. So you would be getting 2 episodes out of the week. I'll probably put that to a vote on either the community page or the Twitter page. Things coming up on the channel other than what I just told y'all about. The Kobe Bryant player profile episode will be done very shortly. Basketball will probably be more of a focal point. The world of the NFL doesn't stop after the Super Bowl. Y'all will be getting a Super Bowl special. I do one of those every year. Me and Michael are working behind the scenes slowly but surely to get y'all's mock draft ready. Free agency episode, I do that every year. And honestly, I'm just trying to keep grinding, keep going, doing things that, I love, that I enjoy. I'm not going to lie to y'all, this does get tough sometimes, especially seeing the follower count fluctuate. I know we fluctuate between, I want to say, within the past 2 weeks to a month, we fluctuated from 247 to 251. And I want to keep this channel at a consistent growth. That's why I try to upload as much as I can. Wrestling pay-per-views. I will probably be trying to do a Royal Rumble video if I can. I do want to do more wrestling content as well. I'm trying to advertise this the best I can. That's why one of the things that sucks, is this upcoming potential TikTok ban. If that does go through, I use it to promote the podcast. And honestly, I'm hoping it doesn't, because if it does, I can't sit there. I can't be like, oh, this is a cool trend, do this, bring more awareness to this channel. So it does take away from that. But other than that, y'all, I believe that is going to be... one more thing before I let y'all go. Once we hit 500 subscribers, we are going to be doing a giveaway. And yes, I will say it until I'm blue, red, purple in the face, whatever color. We are going to be doing a giveaway of a mini helmet of either your NFL team or your college team. The winner gets to choose that, And y'all can ask my man, Big Mike of the Run-In Wrestling Podcast. These giveaways are real. He won the first giveaway we ever did on the channel. So This isn't something I do to sit here and be like, hey, let me get more followers because I do this. I try to keep this an interactive, podcast. I want to start asking like questions and stuff, start pulling in questions, things of that nature. I'm listening to people that are close to me, taking that.
Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces.